Okay, let's start with the second set. Now, the first video was of the test at the end of the class. So these questions, there's going to be some different questions, a lot of different questions, because there's only 50 of those. But these questions will have some of the same questions in there. So let's get started. Fixtures having concealed slip joint connections shall be provided with an access panel. I think it says a utility space or access panel, and that access panel needs to be at least 12 by 12, but it can be bigger. Shield plates for protection of a PEX line shall have a thickness not less than 16 gauge. 16 gauge. Horizontal pipe hangers shall have a minimum distance of blank inch for PEX piping. That's 32 inches. That's maximum distance between hangers. A branch can be any part of the plumbing system except a stack, a riser, or vent. A stack, a riser, or vent. Oh my. A stack, a riser, or vent. Oh my. Wizard of Oz. On a shower liner test, the minimum water level shall be no less than 2 inches. The maximum horizontal distance for supporting PVC piping is 4 feet. A storm drain is normally blank from entering a sanitary sewer. That's prohibited. So, a storm drain system is normally prohibited from entering a sanitary sewer. Where piping is sleeved through a foundation, the minimum annular space of the sleeve shall be 2 times pipe sizes, 2 pipe sizes larger. The principal artery of the venting system to which branches may be connected is called a main vent. Again, I'm going to do this like I'm studying. I'm just going to give my answer first, and if I miss it, we'll get the right answer. The part of the lowest piping of a drainage system which receives the discharge from the soil waste and other drainage pipes inside the walls of a building and conveys it to a point 2 feet outside the building wall is called a building drain. It's draining in the building. It's draining in the building. Once it gets out of the building, it's sewage. So, in the building is draining. Out of the building is sewage. A flame spread index of blank or less and a smoke development index of blank or less are viewed as acceptable views for combustibles in a plenum. And that's 25 or less on the flame spread and 50 or less on the smoke development. The diameter of a waste and overflow for your bathtub shall not be less than inch and a half. Oh, inch and a half. Yeah, exactly. Jeez. Easy one. The piping that extends from the end of the building drain and conveys the discharge to the public sewer system is, guess what I just said? Building sewer. Okay. Question here is, what provides an ability for sewer gas to vent atmosphere, also stops back siphonage of traps, and also relieves pressure on the drainage system, and that is vent. The vent system. Vent pipes. Every water supply to your urinal shall be protected by an approved vacuum breaker. No shower stall receptor shall have a finished interior dimension which is less than 30 inches. Okay, well, I'm going to get this one right because it was turned around backwards. I was going to get it right anyway. Water closets set side by side shall be no closer than 30 inches center to center. 30 inches center to center. Without any movement of the water, the pressure measured in a water gauge, with a water gauge, would be referred to as static. It's static pressure. No movement, static. The minimum clearance in front of a water closet, urinal, urinal, lavatory, or bidet to any wall, fixture, or door is 21 inches. Random number. Trenches installed parallel to footings shall not extend below the 45-degree bearing plane of the footing or wall. It was not extend below the blank bearing of the footing or wall, 45 degree. Make that clear. Where the floor drains are located in areas maintained a temperature below, where the floor drains are located in areas maintaining a temperature below blank, the floor drain must not be trapped and must be indirectly connected, which means an air gap, and that's 32 degrees below freezing. The code requires that where equipment and appliance having an ignition source are located in hazardous locations, repair garages, private garages, motor fuel dispensing facilities, or parking garages, the ignition source must be located blank inches above where the equipment rests, and that's 18 inches. It's like where you would put a water heater, 18 inches up. Screws or bolts for securing floor-mounted fixtures may be brass. They also may be plastic, but brass works. The drain line between the trap and the vent is called. Between the trap and the vent is called the trap arm. Trap arm. A lavatory drain that is connected into the vent of a water closet is referred to as a wet vent, because a wet vent works, it drains one and vents another. That's a wet vent. A pipe that supplies potable water to any building or part of the lot is known as a pipe that supplies potable water to any building or part of the lot is known as building supply, water service. Yeah. Part of the lot. Threw me off that. I don't know. Water supply. Which item is not part of a plumbing system? Well, let's see. There's potable water and DVD, med gas and med vacuum, a laundry tray. And the answer to the question is all of the above are part of the plumbing system. All of the above. A vertical line of piping that extends one or more floors and receive the discharge of water closets and other fixtures is known as a soil stack, because it's taking the soil goods. Soil stack. Who may give approval for a plumber to cover their installation? Well, that is an AHJ and only AHJ. Water testing a DWV system requires a minimum of blank feet of head, 10 feet of head. The hangers and supports for plumbing system piping must be capable of supporting the blank by the piping system and not be determined to the pipe they support, not be detrimental to the pipe they support, and that is load. They must be capable of supporting the load by the piping. Tests requiring a pressure of greater than 10 psi but less than or equal to 100 psi shall utilize a testing gauge having increments of blank or less, and that's 1 psi or less. That's the gauge has to have 1 psi increments on it. A pipe that contains waste that is free from fecal matter is waste. It doesn't have soil, it has waste. That'd be a waste stack. That was backwards. On the drain line, 1/4 inch to the foot is known as slope, grade, and fall. Most of you should know that. Slope, grade, fall. In public laundries and central washing facilities, the minimum size for a floor drain shall be 3 inches in diameter. 3 inches for a floor drain. A vertical vent as a continuation of the drain to which it connects is vertical vent, continuation of a drain. It's a continuous vent. Continuous vent. A vent, which also serves as a drain, is known as a wet vent. We talked about that. To provide a watertight joint in the floor, shower drains and floor drains are required to be watertight. Oh, this is suitably flanged. Guarantee you. Yep, suitably flanged. Let me read that again. To provide a watertight joint in the floor, shower drains and floor drains are required to be suitably flanged. The vertical depth of a trap seal is measured from the crown of the weir to the tip of the top. Crown of the weir to the top of the dip. Sorry. Crown of the weir to the top of the dip. Top of the dip, crown of the weir. An area drain is also known as a catch basin. All fire resistance rated through penetration assemblies must be qualified by testing in accordance to ASTM E814. E814. A stack is always vertical. A pipe which makes an angle of not more than 45 degrees with the vertical is considered vertical. Read that again. A pipe which makes an angle of not more than 45 degrees with the vertical is still considered to be vertical. 46 degrees, it's vertical. 44 degrees, it's not vertical. A pressure surge absorbing device operating through the compressibility of air is called a hammer arrestor. A device installed in a drainage system prevent reverse flow. This is in a drainage system, so that's going to be a backwater. If it's in backwater, is associated with drainage system. That's going to be a backwater valve. Any pressure less than that is exerted by atmosphere will be a vacuum. Anything less than that is exerted by atmosphere is a vacuum. A plugged fitting located at the base of all soil stacks is a stack cleanout. Fixture connections, which may be serviced through an access panel, are considered. An access panel is going to be accessible. The difference between accessible and readily accessible is you have to take the panel off if it's accessible. If it's readily accessible, there's no cover on it. Commercial food grinders shall be connected to a drain not less than 1.5 inches in diameter. 1.5 inches. Food waste. Public hand washing facilities are required to have flow regulated to no more than 0.5 gallons. 0.5 gallons. Liners, that's shower liners, shall be pitched a minimum of blank slope and shall be sloped toward the fixture drains to be securely fastened to the waste outlet. Okay, that's 2% slope, a minimum of 2% slope. The limitation for opening size and strainer plates of blank, that's the size they're looking for floor and shower drains, as well as receptor strainers, provide rodent protection. That would be 1/2 of an inch. 1/2 an inch gaps. Loose earth, free from rocks, broken concrete, and frozen chunks, shall be placed in the trench in blank layers and tamped into place until the crown of the pipe is covered by blank amount of tamped earth. So that's going to be placed in the trench in 6-inch layers and tamped in place until the crown of the pipe is covered by 12 inches of tamped earth. The tailpiece diameter for lavatories and drinking fountains shall not be less than 1.25 inches. The joint of a wall-hung lavatory, where it is in contact with the wall, here's where I got before, shall be watertight. Joint of the wall-hung lavatory, watertight. Drinking fountains shall not be installed in public toilets. How disgusting. Would you drink out of one? I probably would not. Okay, that's it for the second set. We'll go to the third.